Hello, my name is Brittany Gomes, and I will be speaking about Dr. Caio Miguel. Dr. Miguel is currently an associate professor of psychology at California State University, Sacramento. He is also an adjunct professor at the Department of Experimental Psychology at the University of São Paulo, Brazil, and an adjunct doctoral advisor at the Institute of Behavioral Studies and at Endicott College in Massachusetts. He obtained his PhD in applied behavioral analysis at Western Michigan and has been a board-certified behavioral analyst since 2004. Dr. Miguel is an associate editor for the Journal of Applied Behavioral Analysis, and he is a past associate editor of the journal The Analysis of Verbal Behavior. Dr. Miguel is an affiliated faculty in the doctoral program Verbal Behavioral Research Lab at California State University, Sacramento. According to the VB Lab's website, the research program was set forth by B.F. Skinner's 1957 analysis of language as learned behavior, and further developed by P.J. Horn and C.F. Lowe. Their research focuses on understanding environmental conditions that give rise to communicative behaviors, as well as manipulate those conditions to teach different forms of communication to individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities. They are also interested in the evaluating of the role of language on acquisition of complex problem-solving skills. Their current research are as follows: verbal mediation, teaching procedures, and behavioral stereotyping. For verbal mediation, this line of research focuses on the role of verbal behavior, more specifically the interaction between speaker and listener repertoire, in development of visual categorization. For teaching procedures, they evaluate different methodologies to teach basic verbal operants and listener behavior. Behavioral stereotyping is when they are testing different parameters of the response interruption and redirection procedure to reduce vocal and motor stereotyping. Dr. Miguel has had over 50 manuscripts published in peer-reviewed journals. Of the 50, I chose to focus on Jack Michael's motivation and teaching verbal behavior to children with autism spectrum disorders. Jack Michael's motivation focuses on the concept of motivation operation by outlining its development from Skinner's 1938 notion of drive. Teaching verbal behavior to children on the autism spectrum is very important because without the proper knowledge and tools of how to teach the children on the spectrum, they wouldn't be able to communicate their needs and their wants. Dr. Miguel became interested in the field of applied behavioral analysis after he had had an opportunity to be a research assistant for graduate studies while he was a psychology major in Brazil. Dr. Miguel worked with graduate students who were conducting behavior analytic research on rodents, and that is where he became very interested in behavior analysis and decided to pursue a graduate degree in the United States in order for him to learn more about applied behavioral analysis rather than experimental analysis, which is what is primarily done in Brazil. Once he was accepted into Western Michigan, while he was there, he was able to have an opportunity to work with Dr. Linda LeBlanc, who had just established a new autism center, as well as an opportunity to work with Dr. Jack Michael, who was doing verbal behavioral research. Dr. Miguel, alongside Dr. James Carr, was doing applied clinical research and work. After Dr. Miguel obtained his PhD, he went on to work at the New England Center for Children so he can improve his clinical skills. He stated that after 2 years there, he decided he wanted to dedicate most of his time to teaching and research, so he got a faculty position at California State University, Sacramento. When I asked him about his primary area of interest, he replied that he focuses on understanding environmental conditions that give rise to communicative behaviors, as well as manipulate those conditions to teach different forms of communication to individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities. When I asked Dr. Miguel for tips, if he had any tips for beginning behavioral analysis, he said that there is constant learning involved, and beginning behavioral analysis should surround themselves with more competent people and make sure that they have outstanding supervisors, because having a BCBA only means that you meet the minimal competencies to do the job. Dr. Miguel's work is important because he focuses on teaching different forms of communication to individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. With the many studies and publications that he has been an author to or co-author on, he helps future behavioral analysts learn more effective ways to communicate with individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities. I end with a quote from one of his articles, which says, "It has often been said that the characteristic which distinguishes humans from all other animals is the capacity for language. It is essential to our species and contributes to its survival in various ways. An understanding of spoken and written rules, for example, represents an efficient means of learning, whereby certain undesirable consequences can be avoided altogether. It is also the medium by which our culture is propagated. Folklore, traditions, values, societal norms, and laws are all passed down from one generation to the next through language. Thus, it is imperative of our species not only to understand others, but also to develop an effective means of communication by which one can be understood." And this is the bibliography. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.